Hello. I don't know if the title is going to be confusing, but here's what I have. So, a few days ago, I think about a week back precisely, my son asked me a question. He wanted to know whether I clean because I have OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder. And honestly, I had never really stopped to think about it, okay? But as I responded to him, I realized something. That when I'm stressed, I do clean. I've become noticeably more organized, more particular, more focused on putting things back where they belong. And if you walked into my house on a day like that, you might very well wonder whether someone or something obsessive was happening. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the cleaning itself wasn't the interesting part. What was interesting was why I was doing it. Because when I clean, I'm not escaping my thoughts. I sort them. As I move through the house, my mind starts moving through itself, one thought after another, one concern after another, one feeling after another. Something about the rhythm of cleaning allows my mind to settle into a conversation with myself. The physical mess does get sorted, and so does the mental mess as well. And usually by the time I'm done, the home is cleaner. And most importantly, my mind usually is too. And eventually the physical exhaustion catches up with me and I rest and I feel peaceful again. It's almost as if cleaning became a physical expression of processing, a way for my inner world to slowly organize itself through my outer world. Then Neil said something that made me pause. He told me that when he cleans, he puts on music and thinks about completely unrelated things. In many ways, he uses cleaning to get away from his thoughts. And I clean to move through mine. And suddenly I realized we weren't talking about cleaning at all. We were talking about stress. We were talking about what human beings do with mental overwhelm. Because sooner or later, every one of us end up carrying mental mess. That's the truth about our human experience. We are going to be faced with too many thoughts, too many emotions, too many uncertainties, too many unfinished conversations, too many things competing for space inside a very limited mind. And the question isn't whether that happens, it happens to all of us. But the question is, what do we do when it does show up? I know that some people run, some people scroll, some people exercise, some cook, I clean, some people journal, some people talk to friends, some throw themselves into work. We find ways to distract ourselves at times, and none of those things are automatically good or bad. But I think there is a question worth asking here. Does the activity help us process what we are carrying? Or does it simply help us postpone it? Because they are very two different outcomes. One helps us move through the mess. The other helps us temporarily step away from it. And while both can feel relieving in the moment, they don't leave us in the same place after. I've noticed that when I sort through my thoughts while cleaning, I usually arrive somewhere. I understand something, I make peace with something, I accept something, decide something. The mess changes shape, the stress moves, the emotion settles, and the cleaning is over because the processing is over. But when I avoid the thought completely, I've noticed something else interesting. The task finishes, the thought doesn't. The room might be clean, but the mind is still waiting for its turn. And I started wondering whether emotional regulation is sometimes simpler than we make it. Not easy, but simple. Maybe it is, or it isn't about never feeling stressed. Maybe it is about finding healthier ways to let stress move. Ways that don't damage us, ways that don't damage others, ways that leave something better behind. The specific activity is probably less important than what it's helping us do. Because I don't think peace comes from avoiding our thoughts. I think peace comes when our thoughts finally feel heard. When we've listened long enough to understand what they were trying to tell us. And perhaps that is what made me grateful for this realization. Not because cleaning is some magical solution for me, but because I finally understood what it was doing for me. What looked like organizing a house was often my way of organizing myself. And maybe all of us have something like that, a ritual, a habit, a practice, a way that life has quietly given us to make sense of our inner world. The trick is simply becoming aware of it, understanding what makes us avoid ourselves and understanding what helps us meet ourselves. Because these two things can sometimes look exactly the same from outside, but they can create very different lives on the inside. And here's the question I want to leave you with today. When your mind becomes cluttered, when stress arrives, when life feels overwhelming, what do you do with that mental mess? And more importantly, whatever you do, does it help you get away from yourself? Or does it help you find your way back? Because maybe emotional regulation isn't about removing chaos from our lives. Maybe it's just about finding ways to transform it. One thought at a time, one feeling at a time, probably one room at a time.